Hello and welcome to the Shank podcast. I'm your host, Zach Edwards. It is currently probably too late to be doing this right now. It is 11 p.m. Tuesday, June 30th. This will be coming out on Wednesday. But it's been hot in Tennessee over the past few days. And I'm currently sitting in the AC. Feels pretty good, but it is late for me. My son's been sleeping decent. I can't really complain too much with that, but he's been getting up pretty early and between work and golfing when I can and miscellaneous task, I'm tired. But I want to be doing this, so I'm doing it. And here we are. It's been a fun couple of days in golf, in the world of golf, from Connecticut to the UK, where the Open qualifying wrapped up earlier today. We got to see who will be playing in the Open in a week and a half or so. The 20 golfers that will have come out of the four venues after regional and I guess final qualifying. I'm sure there's a more correct term than that, but yeah, congrats to those guys. We had a couple amateurs and a couple pros and a couple of cool stories, so going to be going over that. The Travelers happened this weekend and went into a playoff and finished Monday morning with Victor Hovland defeating Scotty Scheffler on the first playoff hole. Took like 30 minutes, it felt like, but yeah, if that, it was kind of it was a great hole, but they could have probably finished it on Sunday night. I don't know. I wasn't there, and the cameras always make it look lighter than it really is, but I don't know. I feel like it kind of took away a little bit from it, but that's just not how it went. And it was still, it's a fun tournament. It's nothing, crazy fun to watch, but especially after the U.S. Open every year. But it was good, and I was glad to see Hovland win. Scotty Scheffler is still looking for his first win of the season, and yeah, he just kind of just couldn't close the door on Sunday and kind of just got stuck in neutral and made some great putts late Sunday, but they were all for naught. But it was cool to see Hovland win, and with all the Norwegian fans there doing the rowing chant soccer thing after his victory. And it was his first time that his mom got to watch him win on the tour. And it's been 8. He's had 8 victories, and this was the first time that she got to see him win in person. So that was pretty cool. It kind of just, the stars aligned for him. He's been, like I mentioned before in the first episode, he's got a lot of demons, but it seems like he's doing better, and like he said, being kinder to himself, because he's won before and just says that like he's just playing really bad, and so he's just really hard on himself. So it was good to kind of see maybe that kind of lifts some weight off his shoulders, because it's tough out there. And yeah, just happy for him. Scotty will be all right. I mean, I guess he's still the number one player in the world. I don't think he's dropped to number two yet. Who's the second? Rory. So yeah, Rory hasn't overtaken him yet, I don't believe. So yeah, he'll find him a win. It could be he could win the Open. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, this week we've got the John Deere Classic, and so I'm going to talk a little Spieth, and he made some comments over the past day or so about kind of where his game is. And I think that with the week filled this weekend, and just kind of where he says his game is at, I feel like a victory, or at least a top 5, is like a must this week, based on his comments. So yes, we'll get to that. Get to that later. And last but not least, the LPGA PGA Championship wrapped up on Sunday at Hazeltine, with Heiran Rue coming back from 10 shots back on Thursday, and defeating Ina Yoon, who was up by, she was like 12 under on Friday, and she had like tied the record for the Open for the ladies, and she just was not able to close it out. She's this is her second year on tour, and I'm sure she'll be fine. And based on her interview, she said that she took a lot from it and seemed to be handling it pretty well, and with all things considered. So I'm sure that this will not be the last we hear from her. She played very well Thursday and Friday, and just didn't do enough on the weekend. And Sunday, she made a double bogey on the front, and then it was kind of just after that. I mean, she made a couple birdies on the back, but it just wasn't enough. She was too up and down and hit some really bad shots. She like hooked her second shot, her 3-wood in on one of the holes on the back. It could have been 10 or 11, and she just didn't have her best stuff, basically. And so we will just see what she makes of this in the future, and see if she learns from it. She seems like she'll be all right. And yeah, I'll just continue with the LPGA here. I guess the other note, I don't really want to talk about Nelly. Nelly missed basically all of her putts. So there's really no talking points that haven't already been discussed by every golf news outlet. So I kind of want to talk about Brooke Henderson. With her being in that position before, she has won the PGA Championship before a few years ago, and you would think with her distance that she would have made, and her experience, she would have made a little bit more of a run. But the winner, Rue, is it, she just did everything that she had to do. She made mistakes, but she always bounced back. She bogeyed, I believe it was 9. It was either 8 or 9. And then on the back, she just made like 2 birdies in a row and just played safe, boring golf. And it not her fault, obviously. She won, but it was just a very anticlimactic and dramaless event. And sure, it could be the course or the nerves of the players just not being able to make a run at her, but you know, good for her. I mean, coming back from 10 shots down on the first day is incredibly impressive. So, not taking away from what she accomplished whatsoever. But I would have liked to have seen just a little bit more drama. Not even like so much of it being a closer final day at the major for them, but just, I don't know. Not saying that they weren't trying, but it just was just so. I was bored to tears. I had money on Brooke Henderson even, and I was obviously pulling for her, but biases aside, it was hard to kind of watch. Honestly, it was just not very great golf. So, but yeah, we've got some really awesome events coming up over the next month. We're entering July. July and August are loaded with links golf, major golf. DP World Tour is going to be going, playing some awesome golf courses. So we've got a lot to look forward to, with the women's and the men's on all levels. So looking forward to it. All right, moving on to the open qualifying. It was really exciting to watch today. The coverage was all right. It just was, obviously hard to keep track of the whole field on 4 different locations, and they were definitely milking the Brian Bros appearances at West Lancashire with their buddy Grant Horvat, watching behind the ropes. And but we did get to see quite a bit of golf today. So it was it looked nasty there. It looked windy. It was raining for a lot of it. So it challenged the players. So I think that the people who advanced obviously deserved it, but at the same time, a lot of tough breaks. But that's links golf, baby. So I'm just gonna run through just a couple of notable names at each site, for the finals, for the final qualifier to make it into the Open. And all these players will be playing in a week and a half at the Open at Royal Berkshire. We've got James Nicholas. He's a current Korn Ferry Tour player. He hit the opening tee shot at the U.S. Open this year. So he has now played 2 majors within a month. Just really cool story to see a Korn Ferry Tour player, play at this level. I mean, you would think that if you're able to do that, then you would be, you could like jump from Korn Ferry to the PGA or something like that. I mean, I know that's not how it works, but it's like he's playing incredible golf. So hopefully he can keep grinding it out and make his way onto the PGA Tour. And then we also have the Live and Tennessee native, or he went to UT. He went to the University of Tennessee. I don't know if he's from Tennessee, but Caleb Surratt, he qualified also at Burnham and Barrow. So those are the two notables two names that stood out to me from that location. Next, we've got Dundonald Links. The 2 amateurs advanced. I think this was the only place where 2 amateurs advanced. And then we also had Marcus Plunkett. He was on the Korn Ferry Tour, but finished next to last, like 150 something. And so he got kicked off the Korn Ferry Tour last year and is now on the Asian Tour, which I think is the road to the DP World Tour. Yes. So he's going to be playing in the Open as well. I could be mistaken about him, but I'm pretty sure that is true. I also think that he served in the U.S. Army for several years, so that's also really cool. And he's currently 32, so it kind of gives us a little hope for the older guys. A little win for not hope, but a little. It's a win. It's a victory for us older 30-year-olds. It's not always about the 22-year-old bombers out there who, if I tried to do what they did or how they swing, I would like pull every back muscle I have. So next we've got Royal St. Port's. Peter Uline made it through there. He will be playing in the Open. He's also on Live. Is Live even a thing anymore? Are they even going to have another tournament? I read that they had $5 billion yanked from their the PIF pulled $5 billion away from the tour. So I don't know if that was like something that they were expecting, if that's happened recently, or if that happened a while ago and it just got recycled and is just now being brought to light with all of this Lib stuff. But it doesn't look like, it seems like Lib is virtually all but over. So the Lib guys are obviously very talented, and amazing golfers, but they're just you're seeing their names pop up here and on the DP World Tour again. I noticed looking at the field for this week that it's not just Patrick Reed and Joaquin Niemann, but it's there's a lot of former question mark live players that are kind of just trying to find their place in the golfing world. So yeah, Peter will be playing in the Open. And then in the fourth location, we have West Lancashire, where I talked earlier about Wesley Bryan. Man, he had a heartbreaker today. He birdied his last two holes to make it to 7 under, or to make it to 8 under. And that was like, he was going to be in the playoff. It was going to be like a 4 for 1 or 3 for 1 playoff. So, be 3 or 4 guys in the playoff. Sitting at 8 under for one spot, for the final spot into the Open from that location. And he bogeyed. He hit this like really bad chip on 18. It just he kind of just like stopped on him. And he had like a 5-6 footer left, maybe 6 foot. And he just barely, I mean, it was like the perfect speed and everything, but it looked like it just not even moved, but maybe it was a push right. Just barely missed the hole. And it was just like, you could tell how just dejected and just sick he looked. And I can only imagine his brother Wesley, or George, was playing very well until the very last back 9 today, and he made like 4 bogeys in a row. He still shot even par on the 18. So both obviously have a lot to be proud of, but I mean, I would rather fall apart and be in George's shoes than be on the final hole and you're just staring at an opportunity to get back to the Open, especially with all the stuff that Wesley had to go through with, filming his YouTube videos at a live event. I mean, he wasn't even at a live event. It was going to be a live event, and then there were like live signs up in the videos, and the PGA Tour really screwed him over on that. So I was kind of hoping that he would at least get a second chance in this way through the playoff. But the bogey, I would be crying myself to sleep tonight. Probably, I would not be able to sleep. And then Sergio Garcia also did not make it, and you really just hate to see that. He was also in the field that the Bryan Bros were in, and he shot 1 under today, so nowhere near it, and just bad scenes for the petulant brat. And then we've got Matthew Jordan. This is going to be his 5th straight Open. He is currently on the DP World Tour as well, playing fantastic golf. And he just loves playing in the Open. He just is always there. So good for these guys, and I'm looking forward to watching these and the other players I didn't mention in the next week or so. All right, next up, let's talk a little bit about Jordan Spieth. Jordan has grown on me over the years. I wasn't always the biggest fan. Not that anyone cares, but I've just grown to really start pulling for him. Not because he's not doing well, but he just I've I've really grown to just enjoy watching how he's able to shape shots and just how he plays. And after coming back from the wrist surgery, he seems like he's just like in a really good spot. He's not scoring, which I guess I could relate to, but he he mentioned, I think it was today or maybe it was Monday, that he this is the best golf that he's played in 7, 8, 9 years. And I just want, if he really feels that way, which he's probably right. Like, if he's probably hitting it very well, like the best he's ever hit it, since, that major run he went on. You just have that like introspective feeling that, this is the best I have felt in a long time, and that I've played. One of the shots that he hit at the U.S. Open was just incredible. Like this, just high draw and just gorgeous. Like the most beautiful shot. That, I mean, the best, second to none. And it took it to like 4.5, 5 foot, and he missed the putt. And I know those greens were tough and all that, but that's just his game though. Like that's what his game's always been. That's what we all know that. And his short game, his putting is just where he won, and that's just how you win on tour. And he hasn't done that in a long time. His last top 5 was back in 23, and his last top 10, which was a T7, was at the Memorial last year. And that's the same course that he missed the cut at this year. And it just I want him. It's just, golf is just more fun to watch whenever he's doing well, and like the shots of his are being shown, and it's not just like we're hearing about his thoughts on his swing and his thoughts on where he's at. I want to watch Spieth play great golf, and he is playing great golf, but I want to see him in the hunt again. And I just want that for him, and for fans of golf, and for fans of Spieth, and just for people who love watching golf, because he makes the game more exciting and better. I think this is a good segue into my my favorite bets for the John Deere Classic. And I'm just going to kind of run through the 3 or 4 that I'm doing that are around plus money. And you can take them as straights, or you can parlay them. I mean, I think if you parlay them, it's around plus 300 or plus 400. But the segue being that Jordan Spieth is playing with Jackson Coyven and Ben Griffin, and it's kind of Jackson Coyven, I believe it's his first event outside of a major. So him playing with Spieth is just I feel like it's kind of fitting. There's this young, up and coming, stellar golfer playing with the former young, kind of, not that he was a no-name, neither one of them are no-names, but I don't know, there's just some sort of something kind of cool and, in a way, poetic about Spieth and Koiven playing together, and I think they are, this is not including in this, but I wouldn't be shocked if Koiven beats Ben Griffin. Koiven's plus 110 for the first round. This is round one, three ball matchup. So it's not like either Ben Griffin, Koiven, or Spieth. You just pick the matchup. So you can pick Koiven over Ben Griffin over Koiven, Ben Griffin over Spieth, Spieth over Griffin, and then Koiven over Spieth or Spieth over Koiven. So that's the same for all the groups for Thursday. So yeah, while I'm sitting here looking at it, I just took Koiven over Ben Griffin. But before that, that's kind of on a whim, but because that's how gambling goes sometimes. I like Matt Wallace over Zach Blair. Blair had a great showing at the Open. I guess for him it was great. He made the cut, and I think he got chipped in on 18 on Friday to make the cut. So yeah, Wallace over Blair. Homa's got to show us something at some point, right? Or maybe he never does, but I'm banking that he does this week. So Max Homa over Brian Campbell in round one, and then Ricky Fowler over Zach Johnson in round one. We got Ricky Fowler minus 172, so you probably should parlay that with like Matt Wallace over Zach Blair, or Homa at minus 160 over Brian Campbell, something like that. So that's what I like for the three balls, and then for top 5 and top 10, I like Spieth. What is he at? What does that give you? Jordan Spieth. To win, he's plus 2,400. Top 5 plus 470, and top 10 plus 235. This is all on DraftKings. You may get something better on as far as top 5 and top 10 and outright on FanDuel or whatever you bet on, if you bet at all, if you're even listening to this right now. So yeah, I like Spieth for top 5 and top 10. And Ben Griffin's the favorite over Chris Gotterup in this tournament. So this is kind of anyone's tournament. JT Poston is intriguing for top 5 or top 10 or outright winner, however he's been playing very good in the second half of the season. And Eric Cole also has been playing great, and he's like the 10th, 8, 9, or 10 favorite. He's inside the top 10 of who's the favorite to win this tournament. And then going over to the DP World Tour, Eugenio Chacarra, he was on Live. He's moved over doing the DP World Tour route to get back because everyone's jumping ship off Live. He's won his last 2 tournaments. I'm not going to bet on him to win this week. Joaquin Niemann is the favorite to win this week, and then it's Patrick Reed. Patrick Reed didn't play that great last week. I think he finished under par, but it was like Chacarra finished 24 under, and I think Patrick Reed was like 8 under or something, so if that. So he was pretty far behind, but it's a new week, different day, different Thursday. and I like Chikara to finish top 10, and it's plus 175. So I think it's a pretty solid bet. Wouldn't call it safe, but I like it, and I'm not going to bet who the winner is on Thursday on a non-major. So yeah, that's what I like. I like Ricky. I like Homa, and I like Spieth. And then kind of to give you a preview of my degeneracy for the Open in a week and a half. I've already taken Colin Morikawa to win the Open at Birkdale. So I think that's who my pick's going to be. I mean, he's obviously going to be unless I cash it out. And I'll have more next week. But until then, that's it for the Shank House Golf Podcast, Episode 2. Thank you again so much for listening. And if you made it this far, consider giving me a follow on X at Zachary88_. And I will hopefully have some news for you on the website front here soon, where you can kind of interact with what I have planned. But until then, and until next week, you all be safe, and good luck, and good night.